What's up, y'all? It's your boy Denim Jeans back at it again with another video. And today, I'm going to be talking the major awards in the NBA and my prediction for those based on not what people have done so far because we're so early into the season, but based on how I think that they'll end up at the end of the year. For example, like for MVP right now, Joel Embiid looks like he's one of the most valuable players in the league, on the best team in the East, the best player on the best team. I think record-wise in the NBA, they might be tied with the Lakers or off by like a game or something. But I don't think he's going to end up being MVP at the end of the year, right? So these predictions for the major 6 NBA awards are based on how I think will end up at the end of the year, not on what I think it is right now. So keep that in mind, okay? So for the 6 major awards, you have MVP, you have Coach of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Most Improved Player, Defensive Player of the Year, and then Coach of the Year. Did I say that already? I can't remember. MVP, Sixth Man of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Coach of the Year, Rookie of the Year, and Most Improved Player. So those are the 6 awards I will go over today with my basically top 2 or top 3 candidates and then my winner, predicted winner for that award this year. So we're going to hop right into it. I'm going to start off with Coach of the Year. I think Doc Rivers has a really good shot if Philly can continue playing the way that they're playing right now. They're number 1 in the East. They have a history of being like a 4 or 5 seed over the past few years, then getting bounced in the first or second round of the playoffs. But people forget that they just made the almost made the Eastern Conference Finals when Kawhi Leonard was there 2 years ago and they lost in the Game 7 on that buzzer beater. They are really close to being an elite team. I think their pickup of Seth Curry during the offseason is huge for them. They got some really, really good shooting for their team. Ben Simmons, as long as he continues to play at an all NBA defensive level, and Joel Embiid continues to be the near superstar that he can be, they're going to win a bunch of games, and that's going to make it easier than for Doc Rivers to win Coach of the Year. I think he's a fine coach. He has some good runs with the Clippers. Back when they had CP3 and Blake Griffin. He's been an above-average coach. I won't say a great coach because he never made like any finals runs, but a really good coach for a really long time in the NBA. And if he can have a team reach a 1 seed, I think that he will get the Coach of the Year that he deserves. Some other people that are in consideration for that are, in my opinion, Monty Williams. The Suns haven't made the playoffs in a long time. They were really close last year, but they haven't been really a good team since Steve Nash days. Steve Nash, Amari Stoudemire area. And I think if they are like a top 5, 6 seed, that he may be able to win the award as well. I think for sure if they're top 4 in the West, considering the West is a more difficult conference than the East. But I think that as long as the Suns continue to play at a high level throughout the season, that he could be in the conversation for winning a Coach of the Year award, going from the playoffs to like a top seed in the conference. Next, I'm going to go with my Rookie of the Year. I think there's 3 main candidates for the Rookie of the Year award, that being LaMelo Ball, James Wiseman, and Anthony Edwards. I say those 3 because they're not just because they're the top 3 picks, but because there are people given the most opportunity to play. LaMelo Ball comes off the bench, but he plays a significant amount of minutes per game. Anthony Edwards sometimes starts, sometimes comes off the bench, but he also still gets a significant number of minutes. And James Wiseman starts for their team. And Rookie of the Year is an award about who is the best rookie, but also that's based off who gets the most opportunity. Because the more minutes that you play, the better your stats are going to look, and the more likely you are to get that award. John Morant won it. He was great, but he also was a starting point guard for a near playoff team as a rookie. Zion was second. He didn't even play that much, but in the minutes that he did play, he played so incredibly well that he was second in Rookie of the Year voting. But that's like an anomaly. It usually goes to rookies that are provided an opportunity to play a lot of minutes. My Rookie of the Year is James Wiseman. I think that he'll be an important piece on a team that makes the playoffs versus LaMelo Ball is going to be on a team that doesn't. And Anthony will also be on a team that doesn't make the playoffs. So I think they'll all have similar stat lines in terms of how important they are to their team's success. But James Wiseman will be on a team that has more success than the other two, giving him the edge in the Rookie of the Year award, in my opinion. My most improved player, I hate to say it, but it's the two guys on the Lakers, man. Dennis Schroder and Montrezl Harrell. They were in the running for it last year, and Montrez actually won it last year. It was surprising to me. But I think that they're both starter quality players, and having starting quality players on your bench to come off for your second unit is unfair almost, how good those players are coming off the bench. But they're going to put up crazy numbers because they're coming off the bench playing against other teams' bench units when they're good enough to be playing against their starting units. And two, they're going to get the closing minutes that the starters normally wouldn't get. So like Marcus Gasol starting for the Lakers, he's not going to get the closing minutes. Those are going to go to like Montrezl Harrell. KCP may not finish the game, and you have Dennis Schroder in there instead. So I think it's going to come down to one of those two because they're going to be impactful pieces off the bench on a team that's going to be a top 2 seed in the West. I think it's going to be Dennis Schroder. That's my pick for Sixth Man of the Year award, only because Montrez won it last year, and voters don't like repeating players unless they absolutely clearly deserve it, like Giannis winning back-to-back MVPs. But I think they're going to give it to Schroder because I think him and Montrezl Harrell are going to be very similar in their importance to the team's success and similar in the roles off the bench, but they give it to Schroder instead of giving it back-to-back to Montrez. For my Defensive Player of the Year, I have my top 2 being the same top 2 as last year with Giannis and Anthony Davis. But for the same reason that I have Dennis Schroder winning Sixth Man of the Year, I have Anthony Davis winning Defensive Player of the Year. He's one of the best defenders in the league, can defend, I won't say 1 through 5, but like he can defend wings and bigs very well. Was second place last year, and you could have argued that he should have won it last year. But Giannis got it last year, and because of voter fatigue, I don't think they're going to let Giannis win it again. And I think it's going to go to Anthony Davis. He'll finally get his first major award. Although I think he might have won Rookie of the Year. I think he won a Rookie of the Year. But I think he'll get this Defensive Player of the Year award to add to his trophy case. With Giannis being a close second, but they're not going to give it to him back-to-back if they can give it to AD, who a lot of people thought should have won it last year. For my most improved player, it's tough. It's tough. Because Brandon Ingram won it last year on a team that didn't make the playoffs. It wasn't like a great team. And I think it's going to happen again this year where it's going to be a player on a team that could make the playoffs, but they underachieve. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on the Thunder. I think right now they're in the playoffs, like 8-9 games into the season. But I don't think they're going to end up making the playoffs at the end of the year because I don't think they can sustain this level of play. Granted, last year they did surprise us, but they also had Chris Paul, who's one of the best point guards in history, really. Shai Gilgeous is he's gonna thrive in his role. He doesn't have CP3 taking away any shots from him. He is the man on the team right now to take and make shots for them. George Hill's an above-average NBA player. Al Horford's on the decline, and those are the 2 next best players. So with all the opportunity that Shai Gilgeous is gonna have to take shots and run up his stats, I think his stat line is gonna look too good compared to what it was last year for you not to give him the most improved player. I also have Jamal Murray in there as one of my candidates, and that's only because of how he played in the bubble. If he can take what he did in the bubble and keep playing like that, which he hasn't so far, which is why he's like my distant second pick. If he could play similar to how he did in the bubble for an extended period of time this year, he has a chance like a most improved player award, but I think Shai Gilgeous is going to take it because his stats are going to look better because he doesn't have another star on his team to take him away from him like Murray has Jokic. So now we get to the one you all been waiting for, a whole 9 minutes and 45 seconds. MVP, man. There's three candidates in my opinion. You have the second greatest player of all time, LeBron James. The back-to-back MVP, Giannis Antetokounmpo. And the rising star, superstar in some people's eyes, Luka Doncic. My pick for MVP is LeBron. Let me tell you why. I had Giannis winning it last year. I think it was clear that he should have won it last year. But it's voters' fatigue, man. They're not going to give it to Giannis a third year in a row, even if he may deserve it, just because they don't want to vote the same person over and over again, right? This isn't 2K. You don't get like 7 in a row. The Bucks haven't looked that great to start off the year, but I think they'll pick it up. I think they'll figure it out, and I think they'll be like a top 2-3 seed in the East. And Giannis will be the best player on that team, obviously. But with him winning it back-to-back years and not having any playoff success in those years, at least in people's eyes, like not winning a championship to them is not playoff success, even though he made it to an Eastern Conference Finals 2 years ago. And then, he got out the first round last year and then got bounced badly by the Heat. But his lack of playoff finals run is going to hinder or prevent people from voting him for MVP again. Luka, he has the potential to be MVP. He's an MVP level player, but I don't think they're going to give it to him over LeBron James just because LeBron James didn't get it last year and was so close to getting his 5th MVP. I think people believe LeBron should have more MVPs than he does right now, and I would tend to agree with him. So they're going to try and use the narrative, because it's all narrative. Most of these awards, just all narrative. And they're going to give LeBron his MVP that he probably should have got, not last year, but like in years past. Maybe like when Nash won it, or Nowitzki won it, or something like that. He deserves more than he has right now because he's been the most valuable player in the league, I think, for a very long time. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Just to review, my MVP, LeBron James. 6th Man of the Year, Dennis Schroder. Defensive Player of the Year, I have Anthony Davis. Coach of the Year, Doc Rivers. Rookie of the Year, James Wiseman. And Most Improved Player, I have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Let me know what you guys' predictions are down below. Peace.